Good day. Your car sales consultant Bimoli is back. Last episode, I was talking about how did I hook up with my Inspira. And for this episode, I would like to entice you all to own and use Inspira. If you are looking for one used car, by telling you more about the size, the fuel consumption, the maintenance, and the potential upgrades of it. Of course, when we spoke of the size, you might be wondering, is this C-segment car sufficient for family use? Well, I know that the curb weight and the difference with the gross weight is the maximum tow weight that you can take on this car. Let's say now we have 1,300 as Inspira curb weight. The gross weight is actually only at 1,475. Thus, only can afford more like 170 kilo, which means not more than 3 persons sitting on a car. Not so sufficient for a family, but yes, maybe for a kid, that should be sufficient. And the size, if were to compare with the S70, which was argued recently, which if it is a B segment or C segment, well, yes, the car gets bigger and bigger when they facelift or minor change because of the architecture of the bones or whatsoever, thus making the latest City is already nearly the size of the Inspira. In the old times, we label the Inspira as a C segment, but now the Honda City is just 1 cm shorter, 1 cm the width and the length, just 1 cm difference. That's why when you put a City and the S70 left and right of the Inspira, you just find them around the same size. And it cannot tear too much weight, but it definitely brought you more handling and fun to drive. The next one would be the fuel consumption. For Inspira, this 1.8, my mixed driving conditions, I have 11.5 kilometer per liter, which most of the time I would say the city driving is around 9 km per liter, while the highway driving should be on 14 km per liter. I was using the Fuely to record all my data, and you can of course refer to those. And if you were to ask if this 11.5 consider fuel saving or is not, well, I believe it's below the average. The international one, they set as 12.5 as the considered fuel saving cars, and it doesn't reach there. Of course, in the comparison for the CVT version of the Altis and Civic, they can achieve this 13 km per liter quite easily. For Lancer or Inspira 2.0, it's a little bit tough lah. Maybe near 12 plus minus, but not to the extent that Toyota and Honda can do. While if you compare to the old technologies like the Proton or the old Mitsubishi engines or the other cars, turbo cars, it's actually quite considered fuel saving. Why do I say so? Let's see on the Proton Persona, which is 1.6 with CVT gearbox, it actually just merely reaching 10.5 kilometer per liter. While the (2.4) units of the engine, yes, I was just quite lucky to have my best friend car to like swap for a month, because he just wanted to try off his previous car, and he swapped his engine from 1.8 to 2.4. I was lucky enough to have it on for 1 month, and I recorded the fuel consumption is just about 10 kilometer per liter. For the mixed driving condition, I would say it's merely 12 kilometer per liter on highway and 8 kilometer per liter for city drive, and it's a lot of fun. This 2.4 engine, of course we're still using the same gearbox, is the fuel is more thirst at 10 kilometer per liter, just like the Persona. So it's like you are using the 2.4 engine, but it's comparable with the 1.6 Proton Pro old technology engines. That's it's not like very fuel saver like the Toyota or the Honda's one, but it's not too bad. Definitely because they have this alliance engine upgrade with the Hyundai and the I forgot what the Chevy. I forgot the name, but three alliance built these engines together. So it's the global and GEMA, global engine architecture, something like that. And for the maintenance wise, a lot of people have the impression that the Japanese cars are more reliable, and then the maintenance costs are some cheaper. But yes, with the increase of your segment size, it will the cost of your spare parts of the wear and tears will go higher, undoubtedly. Definitely, of course, if you, let's say the D segment Toyota Camry might be the cheapest to maintain compared to all the other D segments in the market, but with this increased size, definitely the maintenance cost will go higher. For my segment, it's like C segment sedan, I believe a lot of people say that actually it's a lot same compared to those Honda Civic and Toyota Altis. So what are the around the maintenance costs I had? I actually, working as a salesman, I have to travel quite frequently, and over the 2 years of ownership, of course it's a used car, more than 14 years. Before this it was 12 years, and it's over these 40,000 kilometer I traveled. 2 years ownership, I spent of around 12k, including all the road tax. I think the road tax and the insurance is only within 800 to 900, but and also include those engine oil changes, the wear and tears like the tires, and engine oil, transmission oil, brake pad oil, the lower arm changes. When I was owning it from the ex-owner, the suspension was still new, but of course after 40 or 50,000, there must be some wear and tears that I have to change the lower arm push, tire and rod, all those together with those labels. I actually bought the part, most of the parts, spare parts by myself. Let's say like a half cut of the blower is cost like 100 something, and then I just buy it and then install myself. For those accessories, yes, it's a lot easier. You can watch the YouTube and DIY yourself. But as you can hear from what I mentioned just now, 12k for 24 months. So it's around 500 ringgit per month for such car maintenance. And it doesn't really upset me because it didn't go like totally end. I have to end up somewhere else without it's totally cannot go or not what, because I maintain it quite well. Means I heard some weird sound or I detect something that made me unpleasant, then I will try to go and change the parts. A little bit like the preventive maintenance, but I believe most of you may be sensitive of what your car sounds or asking you for. They are like asking your help already. If you didn't help your car, of course, when it's totally green on the road, you cannot blame your car, right? And a lot of people says our Malaysians are the car lovers. I might be the one of it because after owning this used car, I have learned a lot. Like, why does it broke down? Why the aircon doesn't yes, aircon also I just changed for 1,000 something for the Thailand original Mitsubishi parts. But I believe it will be worth it because I only changed for this 6 months. It doesn't give me any problem more, and it's cool. The Mitsubishi electrics definitely is the best in the world in my eye, because it's good it's functioning well, and then make me driving with pleasant and no worries. But the time during the breakdown, definitely it's frustrating without the air conditioner during the afternoon visit to somewhere else. It's unbearable. Only for that week then I immediately go change the the compressor. It's just functioning back And for the maintenance, because actually my friends, the Jared, his car actually, I believe, already start facing some engine oil losses when he passed me the car, he already said it. Thus, I believe he mentioned that because maybe a lot of the factors are like the tuning people, when they are doing the tuning of the car after the open port, they pass it to the wrong person. So you must be careful of who you choose to. I believe the recommended in the groups are those two people, like the Shamil in Kajang and also the Amir Ternetics. These two are the most recommended. Maybe they might cost you a little bit more, a few $100, but definitely worth it I heard all of them compliment it. Thus, if you need the tuning or the go for fuel saving or go for the performance part after you change your exhaust or pump port or whatsoever, please go find these two experts. Don't go for those unknown and unfamous one, because it will cause some wears in your engine which are terrible because like my best friend faced the problem. I do not recommend for you to go for those unknown one, like they just copy the data into and remap. It's not recommended or it will be ruining your engines, your parts, and then it will cost you some fortunes to repair and replace it. And I think this is the end of the episode for my Inspira. I hope you all enjoy it. Today is quite a random one, but for the next episode I will talk about my brother cars, or for Saga FLX and the Suzuki XX4. Stay tuned.